Are you looking at purchasing land in the state of Utah? I'm going to cover 4 different types of land that you might want to consider purchasing and 1 type of land that you might want to avoid. And if you're looking at buying land to build a home on or a cabin, there's a lot that you should know. In this video, I will cover it all. And welcome to the Living in Utah channel. I'm Mike Gallagher, a local real estate agent. And on this video, we're talking all about buying land. And some people feel buying land is real easy. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? There are plenty of things that could go wrong. So the first type of land that I like to purchase would be land that has existing infrastructure. What do I mean by that? The power is stopped. So you actually have electrical power at the curb or somewhere next to the curb. Sewer is also located right there on your property, out by the street. Secondary water, if you wanted to water your yard, you have access to that. The street has a fire hydrant. Also internet, maybe some land that they've already put in the internet cable, the fiber cable, so you can have fiber internet. It would also be handy if the road is completed, the curb, the gutter, basically everything that you need to get started to build a home. So if there's no infrastructure, it could be expensive, or at least the cost could be unknown. It's hard to come up with a good estimate. Maybe you need power. There's only one power company, so you're relying on that power company to bring you power. If it's 500 feet down the road, phew, what's the cost? Sewer line, same way. The city provides the sewer line normally. What is the cost? How far do you have to go to get sewer? Well, maybe you decide to put a septic tank in. What's the cost? There's a lot of permits. You actually have to put the septic tank system in. Water. Is there city water? If there's not city water, maybe you have to drill a well. What's the cost to drill a well? How far down do you have to go in the ground to obtain a water source? And how strong is that water source? I've heard many people who have wells, it'll like literally run dry and they have to dig a little deeper to get more flow. Internet. If there's no internet out at the street and you have to use satellite internet, will it be sufficient? Will your family be able to run all the devices that you need to run off of satellite internet? Now, let's just say it's a dirt road and you have a lot. How much will it cost to put in a road, curb, and gutter? The city might require these items for you to build your home. I can tell you personally, I was just involved in a project and put down about 50,000 square foot of road base and asphalt. So you're looking maybe like 50 feet wide by 100 feet long. Actually, it was longer than that. It was 50,000 square foot. It was just about 1.5 acres worth of road base and blacktop. That was $160,000. No curb, no gutter. $160,000 for to get it graded, material put down, compacted, everything. Let's talk a little bit about fire hydrants. Some cities, some fire departments require fire hydrant every so many feet. So is there a fire hydrant nearby? If you have to put a fire hydrant in, what's the cost? It's unknown. I was part of a project many years ago. They wanted to put some homes in on a street, and there was water out in the road, but the pipe was too small. So you had to go about half a mile down the road to tap into the main line and bring a large pipe down the street, so you would have more volume and more pressure to run the fire hydrants on the street. So sometimes these costs can be very, very, very expensive. Something to keep in mind. Property number 2, land type number 2. I would call this land that has good soil and a gentle slope. Land that is, the soil is easy to work, is sometimes less expensive when it comes to excavation work. When you get into soil that has a lot of rock, it's very expensive to excavate rocky land. Also, if the property goes up a mountain, let's say you purchase half an acre. Half of that half acre is flat, you can put a home on. Let's say the other portion of that half acre property goes straight up the mountain. How much of that land can you actually use? Probably not much. It's hard to work with property that has a slope that goes up so high. Also, when you're looking at land that has a steep slope, it can cost you a lot of money in engineering costs. Maybe a standard home foundation will not work. Maybe you have to have a special foundation because of the slope of the land. Those fees can add up. Not only the engineering fees to design the plans, but also the material and the concrete that will be required to make this custom foundation. There have been a few cases in Utah where homes have been built on the mountainside and they literally have fallen off the mountain. The soil beneath has given way. Not too sure exactly what's happened in some of the cases, but I've actually seen backyards just fall right off. I've seen homes just come down the mountainside. It's only 1, 2, 3, or 4 I've seen over many years, but it has happened. Also, if you have a steep slope, keep in mind rain and snow. When the snow melts or the rain comes down that mountainside and it's a steep, steep grade, what's the runoff plan? Where is that water going to end up? In your basement? In your home? So sometimes the engineering costs have to be factored in for the runoff on a steep slope. Number 3 on my list, you might want to choose a lot where the home will face in the direction for your lifestyle. Maybe you're a little bit confused. Maybe I have you a little bit lost. But let's say your home faces to the north during the winter months when it snows. The driveway has less of a chance to melt. The sun will shine on the south portion of your home pretty much most of the day, as long as we have clear skies. So if you have a south-facing home, one where the front door faces to the south, during the daytime, the sun will shine on your driveway, sidewalk, and possibly melt ice and snow. Now, if you have an east-facing home where the front door points towards the east, if you enjoy the summer evenings, barbecuing, having a good time in the backyard, well, the sun will be beating down in your backyard when it settles to the west. That sunshine will be right on your back door. How about a home that faces the west, where the front door is pointing west? If you enjoy those backyard events, barbecuing, time with the family, when the sun in the evening is coming from the west, your backyard will be shaded. It's nice and cool, shaded from the sunlight. It's also not uncommon to drive down a street and on the east side of the road, the lots are a little bit smaller than the lots on the west side of the road. More people prefer living on the east side of the street so that their backyard is shaded during the summer months, and a lot of builders now they'll price the lots at the same price, but on the east side of the street sometimes they're a little bit smaller, and on the west side of the street they're a little bit larger. I personally live on that exact same road. I'm on the west side of the street. Our lot is 1/3 of an acre. Across the street is 1/4 of an acre. Now during the summer months, like right now, yes, that sun beats down into the backyard. So if you're out there grilling and barbecuing, it is a little toasty. Lot type number 4, and I'm going to call this one land with no HOAs or CC&Rs. Some people are not happy with HOAs. You hear these horror stories about HOAs. When you're building a home, you may want to build a certain type of home, and the HOA might say, nah, not allowed. Well, I want my roof pitch to be like this. HOA might say, no, not allowed. I want rock and I want brick on my home. No, our HOA requires stucco and wood siding. The list can just go on and on. It can even go to the landscaping. Maybe you would like desert landscaping or no trees, etc. But the HOA might come along and go, nope, we have a requirement. You have to put 5 trees in, 3 bushes, you name it. Whatever the rules are by the HOA, that is how the home will have to be built. Okay, how about one type of land you might want to avoid, but you can purchase it if you would like. And I call this property that borders a landlocked property. They may have to create an easement to go across your property to get to their property. For example, let's say you purchase a piece of land out here at the main road, but there's a lot behind you and someone else owns that particular lot, but there's no road access to it. If that individual behind you would like to access their property or put a home on it, they need an access way. So typically they will create an easement out of necessity. Normally you have to get a hold of an attorney, they'll draft the documents. But the big question is, you might say, well, that's fine, I own 3 acres, I don't mind you having a road access over here to the west. Well, you know, some other people might have other ideas and they might decide to take the road or the access way on the east side of the property. So if it's a landlocked property that you are next to, just a word of caution. Talk to an attorney, see what the options are, or maybe just try to avoid that particular type of property. So that's my list of some property that you might consider purchasing and one that you may consider not purchasing. If you have any kind of questions, by all means, reach out to me. Glad to answer anything that I can. Till the next video, take care and stay safe.